Two of the best players will put their honor and dignity on the line in this furious competition. Welcome to the Shaolia World Championship! And now, introducing our players, Playmaker versus Tricky! Today we are going to play the Blue Diamond game mode. It is a Kickstarter exclusive deluxe version only game mode, and these are the level 2 cards we are going to use. Today's loser will be dressed up as a giant. Okay, so who is going to win and who is going to lose tonight? Let's find out in Shaolia World Championship. And into the 7th game, here we go. Round 1 begins with Bomb's purchase phase? Where is Playmaker? He lost so bad last game that we don't even want to look at that loser's face. He was blown up just like the bomb from the catapult and replaced by it. So he's going to begin his first turn by buying 3 cards right off the bat. He's buying the market, the barricade, and the farm. Now in this game mode, Blue Diamond, it requires a lot of minerals to build cards and use card abilities. I can't wait to see some new strategies here. He also buys 2 more level 1 cards, a school, market, and he's going to buy a 6th card, the farm. He buys the farm. Hopefully that's not an omen for this game. And it looks like he's already going to start trading in for a level 2 card. There is 1 culture card on the board and 1 attack card he can choose from. I wonder which one he'll go for, and he is going for the Observatory. The Observatory is a card that allows you to gain 1 culture passively every turn. 1 culture might be a small amount, but it doesn't need a die. So this card becomes the more effective the earlier you build it. We're going into Tricky's purchase phase, and before I said that players need lots of minerals to build cards and use card abilities. Also, many of the cards in this mode have passive abilities, so they don't need a die. You can use the leftover dice to activate other cards and create various cool strategies. Tricky decides to buy 3 level 1 cards, the Blacksmith, a Barricade, and another Blacksmith. Now, since he's leading the World Championship by 4 games to 2, I'm expecting this game to be very exciting about what strategy he will use in this game. He is also going to buy another 2 level 1 cards. He buys a School and an Infantry. Now, going into Playmaker's building phase, he reaches for his money. Looks like he's getting 2 gold for this, and he's going to build 2 farms here. All right, very good. And Tricky elects to build his blacksmiths, both blacksmiths, and his infantry. Going into Playmaker's action phase, he's rolling the dice and holding on to him for a bit. There we go. And he gets a 4, a 4, and a 5. This is a mode where minerals become very, very important. But if you can't get minerals on the first round, just like Playmaker, you can choose to build a level 2 card that doesn't require minerals first, such as the Refinery in the drafting pool. With his dice, he's going to activate his farms and palace to get 6 gold and 2 officers. So, we're going into Tricky's action phase. He's picking up those dice and rolling them. There we go. We get a 3, a 3, and a 4. And since Playmaker doesn't have any minerals or any way to get minerals, he needs more turns to build that observatory. So I think Tricky is in no rush at all right now. He uses his 3 dice to activate his blacksmith once and his palace twice to get 4 gold and 1 mineral. Quickly into round 2, Tricky just decides to get rid of that drafting pool immediately. So they get new cards up there, and he's going to buy some level 1 cards. He's going to buy 2 of them, and he's going to get an infantry and a market, and immediately trade in all 3 of those to get the mine. All right, so he gets the mine, and ooh, the wonder card is now on the drafting pool. In this mode, Mine can be very, very useful. Since Mine is also a passive card, the longer it survives, the more effective it becomes. However, since the Mine has so low of life points, it is important to keep it protected from an incoming attack. In Playmaker's purchase phase, he buys 2 level 1 cards, he gets a school and a market, and he's paying 1 more gold to buy another level 1 card, the Blacksmith. Okay, now he has a resource card for minerals. Tricky skips his building phase, and going into Playmaker's building phase immediately, we're going to see the Barricade and that Blacksmith come onto the board. All right, now he has a defense card and a mineral resource card. Into Tricky's action phase, he picks up the dice, rolls them at a slow turtle pace. Okay, there we go. He gets a 1, 4, and a 6. He's going to activate his blacksmith and use the other 2 dice to activate the palace twice. So again, he's going to get 4 gold and a mineral. Into the bombs action phase, he's going to pick up his dice very slowly. All right, seems like both players like to roll their dice slow here today. All right, he's going to roll a 1, a 1, and a 4. And, oh my gosh, he has 3 cards in his territory, but he can't activate any of them. Tricky is so happy. He's clapping, so ecstatic that the bomb cannot do anything. But Playmaker can use his die to get 2 officers and activate the farm or the blacksmith. But he decides to use all 3 of his dice to activate the palace. So he's going to activate the palace 3 times, but I really think he should have got a mineral from the blacksmith this turn. He would have many more options later, maybe to make that observatory, but he is just not playing with it. So I think this is a very bad move on Playmaker's part. Going into round 3, it's Playmaker's purchase phase, and he bought the observatory early in the game and could have built it this turn, but he made a different choice. In this case, it's cost 3 gold to get the observatory, and now it's just stuck in his hand. He's going to buy 3 level 1 cards, and he gets a market and 2 schools. He's going to trade them in to get another observatory. And even though he hasn't built the observatory in his hand, this means that there's 6 gold in his hand that he's not being able to use. This, Playmaker, what are you doing? Tricky's going to be skipping his purchase phase here, and Playmaker skipping his building phase. And going into Tricky's building phase, he's looking at his cards, and yes, he's going to build both cards. He's going to build the mine and the barricade. As I said many times before, this mode requires a lot of minerals. So building level 2 mineral cards gives you a lot of advantages early. I wonder how Playmaker will respond to this. All right, now Playmaker's action phase. He needs a good dice roll here. He's going to get a 1, and a 5. Now, if he uses the officers he gained earlier, he can activate the blacksmith now. He can use that mineral to build the observatory in his hand. All right, so he's going to activate the farm and the palace twice. Oh no, he's switching them around. Okay, good, thank you. Okay, Playmaker, you're scaring me there. Now he activated the blacksmith, and he activated the palace twice to gain, okay, now 4 gold and a mineral. After thinking he gained a mineral and some gold, now he has more options than before. Going into Tricky's action phase, he picks up those bones. Shake, 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 or there we go, the shake. Shake the dice, come on, man. Shake them. There we go. Holding on to him forever. Come on, Tricky. Thank you. All right, so now Tricky gets a mineral with his mine's passive ability immediately. So he rolled a 1, 3, and a 6. And compared to Playmaker, who just spent 2 officers to get that mineral, this is much more efficient because it's free. Tricky is very happy with that move. He activates his infantry and palace twice to gain 4 gold and deal 1 damage to the barricade. Now, going into round 4, it's Tricky's purchase phase. Now, Tricky has 2 minerals in his hand already. Seems like he's trying to buy a level 2 card here, but okay, he's going to reach for 3 level 1 cards. And, yeah, so maybe he's going to trade those in for a level 2 card. Okay, that's exactly what he's going to do. He trades all 3 of them for a War Glider, and War Glider might be a little weak when used alone, but when combined with other attack cards, it becomes very, very powerful. Going into Playmaker's purchase phase, Playmaker's Observatory and Tricky's War Glider are very similar cards in that they passively get, well, 1 culture and 1 damage per turn. So looking forward to see what they get built into their territory. Playmaker buys 3 level 1 cards, he gets 2 markets and a farm. As Tricky's attack cards are getting prepared to attack Playmaker, Playmaker needs to prepare for that. He has many options now. He can strengthen his defense, or he can give up defense totally and quickly score some culture, just like he did in Game 5. Or he can fight back with some other attack cards. I wonder what he'll choose. He traded in 3 of his level 1 cards to buy that level 2 card, the Smelter. Now, I think he wants to secure more minerals before getting a full-out strategy out. And now we're going into Tricky's building phase. He builds that War Glider very fast. Now, into Playmaker's building phase, if he can build that Smelter this turn and get 2 minerals, his situation will be a lot better. But he skips. Playmaker, why are you skipping? Okay, so into Tricky's action phase, he gains 1 mineral by the mine, he deals 1 damage to the barricade by the War Glider, and gains 1 gold as loot. He rolls his dice, and he gets a 3, 4, and a 5. A lot has happened before he rolls the dice. This is the beauty of passive cards. He activates his blacksmith and his palace twice to get 4 gold and a mineral again. Going into Playmaker's action phase here, he needs a really good dice roll. He needs some minerals. So let's see what he's getting. He's holding on, talking to Tricky a little bit. And the dice roll is still not coming. There we go. Finally, Playmaker rolls a 2, a 6, and a 6. And he's going to activate his farm the palace twice. Okay, so he's going to gain 7 gold on this turn. Now into round 5, if any of Tricky's character cards were able to obtain attack tokens, Playmaker's level 2 card may have been smashed before even activating, so maybe Playmaker didn't build the observatory or the smelter because of that possibility. I think it was a careful play, but I think it was a little too careful. Well, with his purchasing phase, he buys 3 cards. He's going to get the infantry, blacksmith, and a farm. Going into Tricky's purchase phase, since Tricky has a lot of passive cards already, he gets more and more efficient over time. If Playmaker plays like this continually, Tricky has this game in the bag already. So, Tricky's going to end up buying 3 level 1 cards. Alright, so he picks those up and immediately trades those in for another War Glider. That's double the War Gliders there. That's 2 damage every turn without spending a die. How terrifying that is. Oof, Playmaker's building phase. He's going to be building a farm and another blacksmith. That's a lot of resources cards on his territory. Going into the building phase for Tricky, he's going to demolish his blacksmith and build a war glider. Wow. Now, Playmaker's action phase. Tricky has 3 level 2 cards in his territory already, but Playmaker has none. They're all in his hand. Collecting cards in your hand will not really help you right now, Playmaker. So, he rolls a 1, 4, and a 4, and Tricky's very happy by that roll. Because apparently, Playmaker had a chance to build level 2 cards, but he lost those chances with his excessively careful playstyle. Leveraging level 2 cards are very important in Shaolia. So he's going to activate the palace 3 times. Sometimes building a lot of level 1 cards is a good strategy, but it usually works only in the early stage of the game. He's going to gain 4 gold here and 2 officers. Going into Tricky's action phase, he gains 1 mineral by the mine automatically, and he gets 2 passive damage from the War Gliders, and he's dealing it straight to the palace. This is the power of level 2 passive cards. He's going to roll his dice and get a 2, 3, and a 3, and activates the palace all 3 times. And both players activated the palace's turn with all 3 of their dice, but Tricky has 3 passive cards on his territory. As long as the passive cards survive, the gap between the 2 players will widen and maybe become insurmountable. And into round 6 we go. It's Tricky's purchase phase. Now, Tricky is currently in a very, very favorable position, and both players have 2 character cards left. I wonder whether Playmaker can reverse this situation or not. And now Tricky's going to pay 1, 2, 3 gold. Okay, he's going to get 3. He drew 4 cards. Oh, okay, so good. He made up for that mistake. He's paying 1 more gold. So 4 gold, 4 cards. And he's going to trade in to get the level 2 card, the Cannon. Now, Cannon is a unique attack card that requires a mineral when using the ability. Now, he's going to change the level 2 drafting pool with 1 gold, and the Cannon you can get with 1 die, 2 damage, but then you pay another mineral to get 2 more damage, so you can do a total of 4 damage in 1 turn. Now we're going into Playmaker's purchase phase, and Playmaker must do something to reverse the situation. He bought 2 level 1 cards, the inventory and the farm, and I still believe he can show us something cool and live up to his name, making some plays. He changed the level 2 drafting pool. Is he looking for some level 2 defense cards maybe? He doesn't get any. He gets a smelter and a mine, and okay, so he's going to pay another gold to change the level 2 drafting pool again. He keeps changing it. Looking for a very specific card is a very reckless move. In Shaolia is more about adapting to the given environment and utilizing it to the fullest. He changed the drafting pool again, and there's another War Glider, and I think he wants to get away from that, so he's probably going to change the level 2 drafting pool just so Tricky can't get that. And yes, he does that. Hopefully he can get a good flip here to get a card that he needs, and there! Wow, okay, the Watchtower has appeared. Watchtower has a very unique ability that deals damage to the attacking card when it's attacked, so it's very efficient against cards with low damage and health, such as the War Gliders. So he elects to trade in 3 cards to get that first Watchtower. Alright, so now we see that Cavalry comes on the drafting pool. Now he probably is going to buy a level 1 card. There he goes. He's buying 1, and he might want to buy another here so he can trade to get the other Watchtower. Yes, that's exactly what he's doing. So it doesn't matter what he drew. He's going to trade all 3 of those cards to get the level 2 card, another Watchtower. Maybe this will give Playmaker a chance to fight back. Now, into Tricky's building phase, he elects to skip it altogether, and we're going into Playmaker's building phase, and he should be building at least one of, yeah, he has enough minerals to get that Watchtower, so he's trading him in, putting a Watchtower on his board to defend against those War Gliders. All right, we're into Tricky's action phase. Now, with automatically his passive abilities, he's going to deal 2 damage to the Watchtower. He's also going to gain 1 mineral from the mine, and he's going to be putting 1 damage token on each of the War Gliders because of the Watchtower. He rolls a 2, 5, and a 6, and since War Glider has low health, it is not easy for gliders to attack the Watchtower. If the War Gliders have 1 health left, attacking the Watchtower will destroy the War Glider. So be careful, Tricky. In order to minimize the counterattack of Watchtower, it is better to crush Watchtower at once with a high damage move. He's going to use his 3 dice to activate the Blacksmith and Infantry and the Palace to get some gold. He deals 1 damage to the Watchtower with that Infantry, and in counterattack, the Infantry is taking 1 damage as well. So he's going to gain 2 gold and a mineral. He attacks the Watchtower more with his Infantry. I guess he's going to try to destroy it with the Glider next turn. Into Playmaker's action phase, he rolls a 2, a 2, and a 5. I think it would be a very good idea to put some life tokens on the Watchtower, or build an additional one because Watchtower is very efficient against War Glider, and for now, Tricky's main attack card is the War Glider. I guess the situation got a little bit better for Playmaker. I'm curious about his future choices. He made a decision finally, and he's going to activate a Blacksmith and the Palace twice for some gold. He's going to gain 4 gold and a mineral. Going into round 7, both players are going to be skipping their purchasing phase. We're going into Playmaker's building phase here. Now, he needs to demolish one of his cards so he can build something. So, let's see, he has 3 farms out there. So he's going to demolish not that farm. He's going to, okay, a little indecision, but he just demolishes one of his farms and he builds the smelter there instead. Now, I think he might have needed to build the other Watchtower for more defense, but he's reaching for his character cards, and he's going to use his Captain card, which removes 3 damage counters with life tokens. So he's going to take 3 of his damage counters from the Watchtower and make it into pristine condition again. He built a smelter instead of the Watchtower because he had a Captain. The combination of life tokens and Watchtower is very, very powerful. If he activates Smelter this turn and gets 2 minerals, he may build additional level 2 cards next turn. There you go, Playmaker, making some plays. Tricky skips his building phase, and into Playmaker's action phase, he rolls a 1, a 3, and a 5. You can choose not to attack with War Gliders, and if Tricky attacks Watchtower with the War Glider, which has only 1 health left, it will be destroyed. So he won't use War Glider this turn. Wow, Playmaker has earned a lot of time with Captain and the Watchtower. He's going to use his dice to activate the Smelter, the Blacksmith, and gain 3 minerals there, and then get the Palace for 2 gold. It is getting more and more exciting. I am ecstatic here. Into Tricky's action phase, he rolls a 4, a 4, and a 6, and he's going to gain 1 mineral by the mine. And he's going to, use those dice to activate the Palace? Yes, the Palace 3 times to gain 4 gold and 2 officers. Even though he has many passive cards in his territory, Tricky is not being so efficient with his dice use. He activated Palace for several turns, but he already collected 6 minerals, and thanks to that, he has a lot of options in the future. At the start of round 8, Tricky skipped his purchasing phase, and Playmaker purchased his level 1 card and got a school. Tricky skipped his building phase as well, and into Playmaker's building phase. I wonder if he's going to finally build that observatory he purchased in the first round. Alright, so he has many decisions here to make, many options, which is good for him. Okay, so he's spending some money there, but he has no space on his board, so I wonder what he's going to demolish. Alright, so he's going to demolish 2 farms and a blacksmith. Wow, he's clearing his board basically, and he's going to build a school and both of his observatories. Wow, Playmaker can now gain 2 cultures with passive cards every turn. Well, he could have built it a lot earlier, but he finally did it, and that's good enough. Into Tricky's action phase, he gains 1 mineral automatically by the mine, and unlike Playmaker's observatory, Tricky's mine was built very early in the game. So now Tricky has an enormous amount of minerals at 7, and I wonder what amazing strategy Tricky will show us with those minerals. Tricky might need to be tricky here. He rolled his dice, and he got a 3, a 3, and a 6, and he activates his blacksmith and the palace twice to gain 4 gold and 1 mineral. Going into Playmaker's action phase, he's going to get 2 culture automatically by both of his observatories. That doesn't seem like much right now. It's only 2 out of 18 for a final victory, and Tricky is going to point that out to him. He's making fun of and taunting Playmaker. He's like, "Oh, you got 2 culture? Good job, kiddo." All right. So he rolled his dice and he got a 2, 3, and a 6. He's going to be activating his smelter, his blacksmith, and his palace. So he's going to be gaining 3 minerals here and 2 gold. Now Playmaker just got 3 minerals in a single turn. I wonder how he will use them in the future. At the beginning of round 9, both players are going to be skipping their purchasing phase. Now we're going into the building phase for Playmaker, and since Tricky has accumulated a lot of resources so far, I think Playmaker saved his resources to prepare for Tricky's possible attack. Playmaker pays 2 gold and 1 mineral. He's going to be building his watchtower, and he demolishes the blacksmith, and he's going to put the watchtower right there, just to build up more of his defenses against those daunting war gliders. Oh, okay. He retracted that, and he put his car back. Okay. Going for the barricade. Going for watchtower, barricade, watchtower, barricade, watchtower, barricade. Playmaker needs to make some plays here, and there we go. Finally, he builds the watchtower. Going into Tricky's building phase, he reaches for his character card, and he's going to be flipping the Merchant. Merchant is a very good card to surprise your opponent and change the game dynamics dramatically. Whoa! He just pulled the Ancestral Valley. He got it by using his first trade to get a level 2 card from the discard pile. It seems this is what he was trying to do from the beginning, to build the Ancestral Valley Wonder card. When your opponent's defense is way too solid, a quick transition to culture is a great choice. Of course, this is possible because Tricky made a big resource cap from the beginning. With his second trade, he bought a level 1 card from the discard pile, the School. He sold his character card to get 3 gold. He's demolishing his War Glider and Infantry. He's building his Ancestral Valley Wonder card and a School. Ancestral Valley is very expensive, but once built, it is not going to be destroyed, and is a very powerful card that can gain 7 culture with the combo ability. This makes Playmaker's watchtowers meaningless. Tricky pressured his opponent with constant attack during the early stage and forced his opponent to build expensive defense cards. And now he has switched into culture. What a vicious and tricky move. We're going into Playmaker's action phase, and as I mentioned before, this kind of sudden conversion was successful because of the resource differences. Tricky built the mine early in the game, and Playmaker was holding level 2 cards in his hand for a very long time. Tricky clearly showed us how powerful a passive card can be when it is alive for a long time. Speaking of a long time, Playmaker finally rolls his dice. He gets a 5, a 6, and a 6. He's going to activate his Smelter and the Palace twice to gain 4 gold and 2 minerals here. Into Tricky's action phase we go. He rolls a 3, 4, and a 6. He automatically gains that 1 mineral from his mine, and he's going to activate Ancestral Valley with his combo, using the other die to activate the Palace to gain 2 officers. So he gets 7 culture and 2 officers overall. Round 10 is underway, and Tricky immediately buys 2 officers by paying 1 mineral. Tricky has plenty of officers now, so he can definitely activate Ancestral Valley in the action phase. And if he activates it 2 more times, he wins! Going into Playmaker's purchase phase, he sells his character card right off the bat, gaining 3 gold. Now he's reaching for his minerals. It looks like he's going to buy some officers. Alright, so he spends 3 minerals, and he's going to be getting 6 officers here. So if Playmaker can get 14 culture in these 2 action phases, Playmaker can still win. Scoring 14 points in 2 turns is very difficult, but not impossible. Theaters can give you a lot of culture at once if the conditions are met. So there's still time for Playmaker. Playmaker bought 2 level 1 cards, and he's trading them in immediately to get the level 2 card, another Observatory. To get 14 culture in 2 turns, he should pull out a perfect strategy here. Now, even 1 gold is very valuable to Playmaker. He used 1 gold to change the drafting pool up there. Now, he spent those minerals early to get all 6 of those officers, and it's probably way too much because he can't even build the theater if he got it. So he elects to buy 3 level 1 cards instead, and he gets a barricade and 2 farms. There's still a slight hope for Playmaker, but it looks like it's going very bad for him right now. Tricky just skips his building phase altogether, and Playmaker decides to demolish his watchtower and build his observatory. Into Tricky's action phase, he rolls a 1, 2, and a 4. He gains 1 mineral from the mine, and he's going to activate his Ancestral Valley combo to get 7 culture and activate his Palace. Maybe the Palace, maybe something else. Okay, yes, the Palace. He's going to activate the Palace to get 2 gold there. Alright, so now we're going into Playmaker's action phase. It looks like it's very difficult for Playmaker to finish the game next round, but we'll see what he can do. He's going to gain 3 culture automatically from his 3 observatories. He rolls the dice, and he gets a 2, 4, and a 5. Now, it's very hard for him to make a decision here. He has many options. He needs to figure out how to beat Tricky in this next round. He activates his Palace twice, and he's going to be activating his School. So that leaves Playmaker's culture score at 8, and now he has 5 gold. Can he gain 10 culture next turn? It seems unlikely. All right, so yeah, Tricky's very happy right now. It's going to take a miracle for Playmaker to win this. It seems that Tricky's waving him goodbye. Now, Playmaker is immediately going to change the level 2 drafting pool, hoping for 2 theaters. All right, so we see another observatory, and no. Okay, so Tricky's very happy about that. Playmaker's going to get rid of them again, and it looks like he's going to need another. Okay, what do we got? There's 1 theater, and... oh, okay, so he didn't get his combo. Tricky is so happy about that. It doesn't seem likely that Playmaker can get his 10 culture this turn. So he buys a level 2 card, and he's going to build it next turn, but he needed 2 of them to guarantee his victory. It seems like it's over. Now we're going into Tricky's purchase phase, and he's going to buy 4 officers by paying 2 minerals. And yeah, so then we go into Playmaker's building phase, and he demolishes a smelter and builds the theater. But as I said, it's not enough culture to win this round. Now Tricky looks like he's holding all his officers, little playing with them, loving the little meeples. He's so happy. He knows his game is in the bag. So overall, I think Playmaker was way too careful today. Maybe it's because he was destroyed by Tricky's fierce attack in the last game. Again, just holding level 2 cards in your hands and not building them is so very inefficient. As you can see, Playmaker was so close to winning. He's feeling terrible right now. He had 17 culture at the end, not enough to win. And Tricky just splashes the table with all of his officer meeples to get the Ancestral Valley combo, to get 7 more culture and putting him way over the 18 culture limit. Tricky was so amazing in this game. His sudden transition to culture was nicely done with his character card, the Merchant. This was a back and forth game, ladies and gentlemen. It was so fun to watch, and this is it for today. Thanks for watching.